A motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass. All right, Dustin?
Yes, sir. Judge, if we could go to item N1, this is discussion and or action on matters regarding COVID-19.
These case numbers have decreased for the hospitals.
All right, Judge, do you want to accept that for recording purposes?
Yes, is there a motion to accept that report for recording purposes?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass.
All right, if we could go to item N10, presentation from Texas State Technical College regarding Central Texas Industrial Training Center.
There's a mismatch between the number of jobs that are available and the number of people that are available to fill those positions.
Move to accept for recording purposes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
All right, if we could go to item N6, this is the Greater Waco Chamber of Commerce Monthly Economic Development Report for January 2022.
Know that we have had one project announcement for this first quarter, and that was in McGregor with Messer.
All right, if there's no questions, is there a motion to approve the chamber report for recording purposes?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass.
All right, we can go back up to item F, budget and budget amendments. F1's regarding the FY22 budget. Francis?
FY22 budget amendments, starting with F1A.
Is there a motion to approve F1D through F1I?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
Under item G, bids, RFPs, RFQs, G1 is authorization of recommendations. G1A regarding bid 22-004, aggregate surface treatment for delivery and pickup.
All right, what's your pleasure on items G1A?
Motion to approve the purchasing director's recommendations on the bids.
Second.
We have a motion, second, any other discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass. All right,
All right, item G1B regarding bid 22-005, asphalt emulsions for delivery and pickup.
not what's your pleasure, court?
Move to approve the recommendation of the purchasing director.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass. I'd like to go to item L1. We have Shane Turner and Fiona Bond here. This is regarding the U.S. Department of Treasury Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund American Rescue Plan Act, discussion or action regarding the eligible expenses and our funding guidelines, reporting requirements, and funding request.
So I'm Fiona Bond, Executive Director of Creative Waco, and of course this is Shane Turner, owner and operator of the Hippodrome.
All right, so we will recess until 1 o'clock tomorrow. So it's 11. All right, good morning. Let's call court to order. Today is Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. It's 9 a.m. Proof of posting, please.
The agenda was posted on Friday, February 25th, 2022 at 3:10 p.m.
Thank you. And if anyone has a public comment, they can come forward now from the audience. Yes, sir.
My name is Shannon Caraway. I'm Vice President for Business Development for a company called Solar Prime. Currently, we're trying to develop another 300 megawatt solar farm and 300 megawatt battery energy storage project here in McLennan County. And it's out north of Trading House Creek Reservoir, that area there. We're preparing to submit a proposal to this body soon for a county tax
Today is it's Tuesday, August the 2nd, 2022. It's 9 a.m. Proof of posting, please.
The agenda was posted on Friday, July 29th, 2022 at 10:45 a.m.
Thank you. All right, at this time, let's stand briefly for a moment of silence, and then we'll have a pledge to the flag.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, welcome everyone. I know there's two different groups here that want to speak to the court on business matters, so if you would, as you come forward, if you want to speak to the court, give your name and address, and then we generally allocate about 3 minutes to each individual to do so. So I'd ask anyone that wants to come forward and speak, come right ahead.
I'll go first. Good morning. Okay, you can hear me. My name is Susan Vick. I live at 14006 Boonville Court, Woodway. And good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I'm here speaking on behalf of the Cameron Park Zoological and Botanical Society. I'm currently president of the society, and I was here last week. And y'all have up as a budget item to fund your portion of the shortfalls for the bond project. And I'm here to encourage you to vote yes to fund all of the shortage that is due at this time, which for your entity, the county, is $3.4 million. Several reasons being, one, the Zoo Commission in December already agreed that we would each split the shortage at that time, which we thought was $6 million. So that was $2 million for each of us. And so now that we're pretty sure this is the final cost, that's an additional $1.4 million we'd each need to come up with. The society has already raised over $2 million, and we're confident we can come up with our portion of that. We think it's important to fund it all up front because interest rates are going to continue to go up, which means future bonds would cost more. Costs are only going to continue to go up with inflation and the COVID effect we're all still experiencing. I believe the voters want us to have the best possible zoo possible, and they voted for the vet education building and the penguin exhibit. Not really the cost. I think they have a vision, and we always do things really well at the zoo. We want to keep our reputation. We are currently in the top 50 zoos in the nation listed in TripAdvisor, and that's because we do things right and do it well. And the penguin ad alternatives need to be done, which is the questionable cost part, because we're trying to create an exhibit that's more than just a building with some penguins. We want people to feel like they've gone to South Africa. There's the educational aspect there with the rondevals and the black-footed cat, and it's just a better experience with that plaza, which we can also use for future fundraising events. As we all know, the vet and education building is vital because we won't be allowed to have penguins until we have the proper veterinarian facility to take care of those penguins and quarantine them. And so the city keeps talking about putting the penguins exhibit first, but we feel it's very crucial and vital that it's all done at the same time, and the vet education building is definitely begun at the same time, because without that being done, we won't be able to have the penguins. And so that exhibit would sit empty. And also to get our reaccreditation with AZA, they saw the plans for the future vet building, which will be the proper facility for the animals we have, because we already have more animals than our vet building can handle. And I think that was the majority I wanted to say. So I thank you for your time, and please vote in favor of all the ad alternatives and the 3.4 million. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Good morning.
Good morning. I want to say good morning, Judge Felton and the Commissioners Jones, Miller, Perry, and Smith. I know some are remote, but thank y'all so much for letting us comment. I'm Alice Ogden, and my husband, Greg Ogden. We live at 3016 Deerwood in Waco, and our company's at 123 South Industrial in Waco. We just wanted to voice our total support of any additional funding that's necessary to complete the 2019 bond that was passed by over 60%. We voted in favor of the entire package presented, veterinary education complex and the new penguin exhibit. The price tag of the bond did not really affect our vote as much. It was the entire package. The Zoological Society has been diligent in fundraising for additional costs. In June, approximately 200 Waco, McLennan County supporters of the zoo indicated their continued enthusiasm for the zoo bond by raising over $320,000 at Penguin Palooza. It also celebrated the substantial and generous gift by Gloria Young in memory of her late husband, F.M. Young, toward the future Penguin Shores. We would like to see the entire project, veterinary education building, built along with the Penguin exhibit. And it is crucial, as Susan just said, the vet facility be completed to accommodate the critically endangered species of penguins and other endangered species we have at the zoo. We congratulate you all, our county commissioners and our Judge Felton, for your wisdom and leadership in completing the amazing base during COVID. It is a beautiful and tremendous asset to all of McLennan County. The state-of-the-art concession and staff should serve as a model for other groups with concessions. And I just want to say thank you for getting that done. And it's my opinion that if we could have progressed during that time, that the zoo bond bidding and all that could have been done, then we would already be well underway with the vet ed building and penguin exhibit. But with unfortunate and unforeseen delays, there, as we all know, the skyrocketing inflationary costs along with supply chain issues everyone is aware of. So we're asking for your support and to please vote yes to fund the shortfall in the 2019 zoo bond monies and provide an outstanding product that the citizens of McLennan County have been anticipating and one that'll last for years. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. How's everyone?
Great.
My name is Georgia Johnston. I live at 357 Washington Lane in the Bosqueville area. My daughter and her best friend, the zoo is very important to them, the total bond package. Over the last 2 years, these 10-year-old and 11-year-old girls have raised over $5,000 for tiger conservation. We've done that with the help of the Botanical Society and the Cameron Park Zoo, with tigers, penguins, other animals all being part of the SSP, or the Species Survival Plan. Having the proper veterinary facilities is critical, not only for the care of the penguins, but all the animals at the zoo. We voted in support of the total package, and we would ask that you proceed that so we continue to inspire our youth. We can have another generation of tiger girls, giraffe girls, penguin boys, whatever it may be. With these education facilities, it would definitely inspire those youth. But if we can't care for the animals that are there, it makes it hard to continue on and be one of those top 50 zoos. Really, the package for our family and the educators that we know in our community that voted for this as well,
It wasn't for a price tag. It wasn't just for the penguins. It was for everything, because one plays into the other to be able to sustain the future of all of these animals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Nancy Lacey. I live at 1102 Old Steinbach Road, and I am the, sit on the Cameron Park Zoological Society Board, and I will be the president next year. I've been associated with the zoo since I was 23 years old, and we've moved from cages out at the airport where it was hot and unimaginable for the animals to a beautiful location at the park. It has helped spur our city to grow, and we are now in the top 50 zoos in the country, which I am very proud of. Our society and our staff at the zoo work very hard to not only have a wonderful zoo for our animals, but also provide a wonderful experience for our patrons that come. We have about 8,000 households that are members of our zoological society, which are voting members of our community, and they are very much in favor of us continuing on our journey in offering a beautiful zoo, education facility, vet hospital, and continuing to enhance the SSP, endangered species, giving them a place to live and for us to know what's going on in our world. So I would hope that y'all continue on with us and help fund the shortfall. I understand my husband's a banker, budgets are everything, but so is this, the continued growth of our zoo. We will continue to try to rein in the spending. We're not doing anything just over exorbitant, but we do need our education vet hospital, and the penguin exhibit and the Blackfoot cat is very vital to the SSP program. So I hope that y'all join us in, adding to the overrun cost. And I know that it's a lot of money. Our taxpayers, we fund a lot of things in our community. We're a very generous community for our size. I just hope that y'all will vote yes and help us get this project started so we can get it completed and open for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Raylene Silver. Can y'all hear me with my mask on?
I can.
Okay. I live at 4544 Westchester Drive, Waco. I've been involved with the zoo for over 25 years and previously been on the board, and I'm a volunteer. When I go to the zoo in the mornings to make diets, I see the school children coming, and as a past educator, I see the importance of all the kids learning about conservation, learning about the animals, and I think it's vital to have a first-rate education building. I also see the need for the veterinarian hospital. And when I voted, I also voted for everything because I also think it's very important for us to get the penguin exhibit. I hope that you vote yes for it. I think it's extremely important, and I think your kids, your grandkids, and future kids will all benefit from this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on the Zoom? No. If not, okay, come forward.
Morning, Your Honor, Commissioners. Hope you are having a wonderful morning. My name is Casey Perry. I'm the Fire Chief for Elmont Fire Rescue. And since our last meeting, done a little bit of research into the ETJ request, and I just wanted to provide y'all what updates I have, which are not much. The City of Waco will be hearing our ETJ request tonight at 6 p.m. City of Lacey Lakeview has not posted an agenda or an answer to a request, but they have 60 days to fulfill that request, and they are coming up really close on that because, let's see, it was June the 14th at around 2 p.m. is when the request was filed. So they have their meeting on the 8th to answer to it, or they're just going to, I believe the next step for that would be just is approved by default for them. So as y'all mull this over and take into consideration today, we do ask for your support to grant the petition for the Emergency Services District to allow us the opportunity for our voice to be heard and for the members of our community to vote for the level of fire protection that they wish to receive. Those for it or against it should have a voice. So thank y'all very much for your time and consideration.
Thank you, sir. Okay, anyone else? Okay. Just a couple of comments. As you can see, we don't have a full court today. Last week, several of the commissioners asked for some information that they're either getting getting it put together or analyzing it. Commissioner Jones wanted to be a part of any action that happens, and it's probably going to take at least to the next meeting for us to come to a place where we've got the information we need to make a good decision on the zoo. And so when we get into the agenda, I'll tell you the intent today would be to defer action until the following meeting. But I do want to say we appreciate very much the input that we've received. You know, we asked for public comment, and we received a lot of public comment. From my standpoint, more in favor than not in favor regarding that. So by far. So bear with us. You know, we're taking it very serious and trying to figure out how to move forward with this project. So appreciate very much y'all coming. You can stay and watch somebody make a motion to defer, which wouldn't be all that exciting, but you're welcome to stay. And then regarding the Emergency Service District or fire protection, we're still looking in. As you know, and you mentioned that we requested some information, and we're trying to put that together. We'll have a brief discussion later on in the meeting regarding the criteria for it to go to a vote, and we'll analyze that. So thank y'all very much for coming. We always appreciate public comment. It helps us get direct guidance from the fine people in our county. So thank y'all very much, and like I say, you're welcome to stay, or you leave if you'd like. Thank you.
Judge, can we have about a 60-second recess to say hi to some people?
Yes, let's take a 5-minute recess. Going to the consent agenda. Recommended pulls are HR matter for IT director position E3A and as well as E3B associate criminal judge position item. Are there any other recommended pulls by the court? If not, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of the pulls previously mentioned?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Oppose? Pass. Thank you. All right, Dustin.
Yes, sir. And Judge, we do have Elizabeth on. She has a quick update under COVID under item M1 if we want to do that now.
All right, let's go to item M1. Elizabeth, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Just a quick update from the Health District. They did want to report that our community threat level has moved to high due to the consistent rising cases. Just some information for everyone, just kind of be aware that COVID's kind of on the rise. And they're really looking at the BA.5 strain is that main variant that's kind of going around right now.
Okay, I thought I saw where the actual hospitalizations went down. Is that, did I misread that or?
Let's see. It looks like on the last weekly status report, they have gone down a little bit, but they have just the consistent rising, I guess week over week is what's making that bring
Okay.
our CDC level to that higher community threat level at this
Okay.
time.
So trend wise?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, I understand. All right, anything on fires in the community or?
We are still monitoring those at this time, and we're making sure, just a reminder to everyone, I'll say the same thing, that would just be very mindful of any activities that you're doing. The littlest sparks are definitely still setting them off, and they are everywhere around us. It's really catching fires still across the state of Texas. So we just want to remind everyone to be very mindful of those outdoor activities, mowing the lawn, dragging a trailer with chains, anything that can set off a small spark. It's really dangerous conditions out there at this time.
All right, Elizabeth, one thing came to mind. When there's fires in different parts of the county or any part of the county, if you know which precinct, which road and bridge precinct that is, please inform the commissioner. Because sometimes the road and bridge crews can be helpful because they know the roads and they know the landowners and things like that, and so if you could let them know about that.
Yes, sir. We'll do that from now on going forward.
All right, thank you. All right,
Thank
any
you.
other questions for Elizabeth? All right, is there a motion to approve Elizabeth's report for recording purposes?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Pass.
All right, going to item M3 regarding the McLennan County Emergency Services District Number 1. M3A is action on order either granting or denying the petition to create the McLennan County Emergency Services District Number 1. and if granted, also fixing the boundaries of the McLennan County Emergency Services District Number 1. Just as a reminder, we had received the petition for this back in June. Public hearing was held by the court on July 19th, at which time the court deferred action. Just kind of a quick recap, that an emergency services district, they're local political subdivisions that with voter approval may provide fire protection, emergency medical services, and other emergency services. So what's before y'all again today is to determine if this district would be feasible. And that feasibility study has to look at, since some of the boundaries for this do overlap with the extraterritorial jurisdiction of Lacey Lakeview and Waco, is the consideration of if this district would be feasible without those areas included. If the court does find it to be feasible, the court would grant the petition, fix the district's boundaries, and then order an election. And so, Mike, did you want to talk a little bit about the ETJ portion of this?
Yes, the thing that kind of caught me off guard last time was that the whole thing is actually, the whole district is actually inside of the ETJ of Waco and Lacey Lakeview. And the problem being, when you look at the petition, it says if after hearing Commissioners Court finds creation of the district is feasible and will promote public safety, welfare, and health and convenience for the persons residing in the proposed district, Commissioners Court shall grant the petition. But in B of the statute, it says the proposed district will, if the proposed district will include territory in the municipal limits or extraterritorial jurisdiction of one or more municipalities, Commissioners Court of the county in which the municipality is located must determine if the district would still meet the requirements prescribed in subsection A, which includes feasibility, if the territory in the municipality's limits or extraterritorial jurisdiction is excluded from the district. The Commissioners Court must make this finding for each municipality, the territory of which will be included in the district. So in order to be approved, it would have to be shown that the ESD is feasible without Lacey Lakeview's ETJ, and then separately be shown that the ESD is feasible without Waco's ETJ. This is sort of an archaic statute because in reality, involuntary annexation is very difficult to almost null now with the way the legislature has done things. But this is still how the statute reads. And so you would have to make that determination too. And really the burden is on the petitioners to show that it would be feasible and meet all these other requirements if either the ETJ of Lacey Lakeview or the ETJ of Waco was removed.
And Judge, I did just want to point out that a statement was made earlier this morning that with Lacey Lakeview and the city of Waco both have 60 days to provide their written consent. And if they don't do that, the territory is not automatically included. It then, if they don't give their written consent, then it goes back to a majority of the qualified voters that have to bring a petition within that area back to those to the cities for the for fire control, emergency, and medical services available. And then if that is not acted on within 6 months, then it constitutes consent for the territory to be included in the proposed district.
Okay. So I would say that deferment for right now would be appropriate.
Yes, sir. I think the one thing hanging out there is that if the court does find this feasible, an election has to be ordered, and that date would fall sometime in late August. But we are meeting again on the 9th for the to discuss election equipment. So we can defer and discuss again next Tuesday.
Okay. Is there a motion to defer until the meeting on the 9th?
So move.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Pass. Okay.
All right, if we could go up to E3B, discussion and or action regarding order creating 3 part-time associate criminal judge positions. As a reminder, this was presented to court back on July 26th. I believe we have Judge Bain online and Mike also to speak. Just a real quick summary that Texas Government Code, Chapter 54A, authorizes the creation of 1 or more full-time or part-time associate criminal judges positions that the Commissioners Court can establish. And before you today is a request from Judge Bain to create 3 part-time associate judge criminal positions to help with jail magistration, and the compensation being requested is $125 an hour.
And going back to the genesis of this is, we originally had JPs that were doing this. We had 2 JPs that sent a memo saying they weren't going to do it anymore. One of our most helpful JPs is retiring, and we have a very helpful JP from McGregor, but he can't do everything. So as far as that goes, Judge Bain needs assistance because he can't be there 24 hours a day or on weekends and all that all the time. That he needs assistance. So I don't think we have him there at night. I'm not sure, but I know that for vacation, for weekends, holidays, that sort of stuff, we need somebody that can step in, and having 3 to rotate through would make it easier to assure that we would have somebody there. But Judge Bain, why don't you take over?
And before he does, is Judge Bain online? Because he's not in the courtroom.
Judge, it's showed he's logged in, he's on mute, so I don't know if he's available or if he's stepped away.
Okay, let me make one clarification that what Mike said, and I think that this is what he meant. When you say helpful, that's regarding jail magistration. Because some of the JPs do the death calls and cover for, for others that would be making jail magistration. So,
oh yeah, I wasn't trying to say that they weren't doing their job. It's just too much.
It's just on magistration where we're in a jam on. So, yeah. Thank you.
And Judge, there's a subpart to Judge Bain's request, and that it was an additional employee to help the county court at law and district court judges that set bond or change bond or do bond modifications or set bail outside of the magistration process, to have an employee to assist them with the entering of the data into the public safety reporting system. But I believe HR is going to do a study on that. Right. So what's before the court today is actually just the order creating the 3 part-time associate criminal judge positions.
Right. Okay. Any questions or comments regarding that?
I guess I had a question. I do understand that I do understand that it's the judges that have the criminal jurisdiction that have the power to give the assignment for these new individuals. I guess my question would be how we came with the number 3, and my reservation is that, and it has nothing to do with the fact that Judge Bain needs assistance, because he does. And I think the intent of the court would be to fund that assistance in the most efficient way. So I don't think anyone up here is saying that we don't need to support him and to give him the resources that he needs as far as assistance with the magistration. My concern, and perhaps maybe Dustin or Mike could address it, is that we create and we budget for the positions. The judges that exercise criminal jurisdiction are the ones that do the appointment, and we don't have anything to say. Once we create the position, we don't have anything to say, or we don't have any authority in how they use those 3 individuals. So where
Well, Judge-
is the comfort that, because it's happened before in other instances where the courts created judges and then they've been used in various capacities. So where's the comfort that when the court gives them these positions, that they will be used this way? Because we're talking about putting 3 more people into rotation as backup for them. And we're saying that they won't work over a certain amount of hours. They'll stay part-time. But where is the, not the comfort, but the assurance that they're going to be used the way the court's intending when we're creating these positions?
All right, Mike, I think you've got, you may have an answer to that regarding.
Your answer is your budget power. If this year we created these and all of a sudden we see them over at the courthouse doing other stuff instead of magistrating, you just next year, you don't fund the position. And you terminate the position. That is your hammer.
So what about the agreement with, what's the document gonna say to these individuals when they sign off as magistration? So, I mean, we have
I
some
doubt there will be a contract per se, but their assignment will be in the form of an order from the court, and we will make sure that we work with the judges to assure that that order is directed at magistration.
I think that's where the control is, that we get that agreement with those potential applicants to be part-time magistration folks, that
Well, it's really the assignment. The assignment is given by the judges. What we need to do is be actively involved in reviewing that assignment order to make sure it meets what the Commissioner's Court's intention is.
That's what we need.
And I see what Commissioner Miller's saying. Certainly, we want to zero in on the magistration part of it and make certain that once they're chosen for those positions, that they don't stray outside of the magistration portion of it.
Yeah, because we're only making a arrangement with them to magistrate, not for anything else.
Yeah, that
So-
needs to be reiterated.
Yeah, and besides that, at part-time, $125 an hour, I don't think it really fits any of the courthouse type positions. And I think the judges do see what's going on at the jail and do see the need for additional magistrates. There are additional things that have to be done now. Senate Bill 6 was passed, and there's reports that have to be done. They have to actually go to this website and check out the history of this individual before they set the bond. There's a lot of new stuff in there, and so they're even going to have some training before they get started.
Right, yeah, that's what they said, have to, several hours of training, I think, so. But, Judge, I'm comfortable with it as long as we have the assurance that their duties will be confined to magistration.
Right. Okay. All right, and we're not addressing additional clerical support that's being requested at this time until
Correct.
HR has a chance to analyze that and look at the amount of documentation, additional documentation is required over and above what they're doing right now.
And Judge, Anna messaged me that they have done that work, and so I think she could either discuss that now or when we get into the FY23 budget, just kind of whatever the court's preference is.
Well, I think they're really two separate issues, so if the court's comfortable in acting on the magistration, addition of part-time magistration, then we can act on that, and when we get into the budget, we can talk, it'd be appropriate to talk about that in the budget piece. Okay? All right, so what's the pleasure of the court regarding, unless there's any other, well, let's see if we get a motion in a second. What's the recommendation of the court on the request?
Judge, my motion would be to approve the order creating the associate criminal judges, the 3 associate criminal judges for the purpose of magistration.
Subject to the court reviewing the document that employs them.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And Judge, I do believe we need to set an effective date for that as well.
So what's recommended? Sooner, I guess, soon as
The
possible.
sooner,
New budget, October 1st?
That would probably be the most reasonable time,
Yeah,
because there's got to be a time to kind of look for them too.
yeah, yeah.
Correct.
So amend it again to October.
October 1st, effective October 1st.
Yeah.
2022.
Okay. All right, is there a second? All right, Commissioner Miller is second. Any discussion, any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Pass.
all right, and if we could go to item M6, there's a few action items underneath it, but M6 is authorization of amendments to the McLennan County Employee Policy Guide having to do with paid time off. I'd like to call on Anna.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am requesting approval for the policy change related to our leave package. We'd like to transition from our current policy, which outlines sick and vacation leave for employees, and we want to transition to a paid time off policy, which is a combination of vacation and sick, so a PTO plan or program. I shared some of the initial structure of the program during budget sessions. During budget sessions, I've just attempted to take a kind of a whole picture, big picture approach to our compensation package as a whole, to see what other means or avenues we could take to try to tackle our retention and turnover issues. And so that did involve a thorough review of our leave policy. And so the result of that is a recommendation to move to a paid time off policy. And so I've outlined the basic structure of the program in my memo to the court. So we would outline, I'd like to outline for the court the conversion itself and how that would work. And then also moving forward, what benefits employees would be eligible once in a PTO program. So to convert, and my request would be to make this program effective October 1st. So the conversion would involve vacation and sick leave balances being combined into one pool of PTO up to a maximum accrual of 240 hours. Employees who reach that maximum accrual of PTO after this sick and vacation leave is combined will have the remaining leave balance transferred to their family medical leave bank. So this program would involve the establishment of a family medical leave bank up to the maximum accrual of 480 hours. So the only time that would be allotted to a family medical leave bank or an FML bank would be time that would be accrued over the PTO maximum of 240 hours. So unused leave balance is greater than the maximum accrual of PTO, and family medical leave bank, or 720 hours combined. That would be paid out to the employee upon conversion, because we do have a small group of employees who would have more than 720 hours of accrued time in the form of sick leave excess, is what it's currently called. A part of this program that I'm also proposing is that comp or compensatory time balances be paid at the conclusion of the fiscal year, this current fiscal year, 2022, at the current overtime rate in effect for the employee. And then moving forward, I'd like us to transition to having an annual payout of unused compensatory time paid at the conclusion of each of the following fiscal years at the overtime rate in effect during the period it was earned. So working with the auditor's office, it sounds like they have a way to have our leave tracking and Tyler Muniz be able to actually account and track what period over or comp time was accrued and pay it out at that corresponding overtime rate. But that would just be for years moving forward, not this initial payout rate. So the primary policies that I'm requesting to be updated as a part of this program are, sections, it's Chapter 9, which is our entire leave benefit policy, and Chapter 7.10 and Chapter 15 in our policy guide. And another outline of the program that I just want to make the court aware of is related to sick leave pool. So currently employees are able to donate to a sick leave pool, and then they are eligible to withdraw from it if they qualify through a catastrophic injury or illness. It is very hard to qualify for that sick leave pool. It's a benefit hardly ever accessed by employees. And then part of this conversion means that we technically don't have sick leave to donate. And under the local government code, only counties with populations over 800,000 are allowed to donate anything other than sick leave to a sick leave pool. So a part of this proposal would include grandfathering our sick leave pool program. Employees who have already donated wouldn't lose that. They would still be eligible to withdraw from the pool should they encounter an eligible event. Just moving forward, folks wouldn't be able to donate any of their accrued leave anymore past the adoption of the program. The new leave accruals annualized would be 180 hours for employees with years of service from 0 to 7 years. So they can earn up to 180 hours a year. And then once an employee reaches 8 years of service, they would actually have that annualized PTO bumped to 220 hours that they can earn in 1 year. And the purpose of switching to our PTO program would just to offer employees more flexibility. PTO wouldn't be bound by any particular reason they're taking time off, like sick leave currently is. Sick leave actually does have requirements. It must be related to a medical injury or illness, whether from the employee that they're suffering from or a immediate family member. And PTO would not have those restrictions. And so offering employees that benefit of flexibility, and then also offering our leadership, our county supervisors and elected officials, a tool to be able to retain performers and current employees by offering them flexibility. Of course, if operations allow, I think would be a benefit to the county. I can take any questions about the program.
So it would, of course, any request for PTO they need to notify, obviously, their supervisor ahead of time. And of course, if they're sick, there's no reason the supervisor wouldn't allow that. And then otherwise, they just request PTO days with and really, they don't need to give a reason for that. In regards to the amount of time in PTO, how does this compare? I mean, this is a employee benefit, so how does it compare with the market out there? It seems to me it's a little bit on the liberal side. In other words, I was surprised to see that much PTO time granted, but to explain that, how you came to that recommendation.
Yes, sir. So I have a few reference points for comparison. And so within the memo I submitted to court, I have a national reference there just pulled from the Bureau of Labor Statistics specific to state and local governments. And so combining vacation and sick days offered by nationwide state and local governments, they're offering on average about 234 hours of time off. And our proposed PTO maximum accrual is 240 hours. So we're not that far off the national average. And then another reference point we can use are counties that currently have a PTO program. So that wouldn't be a new thing amongst counties. We have 4 counties we were able to reference policies and accruals for. And so it's Collin County, Kerr County, Lubbock County, and DeWitt County currently have PTO plans, and they're on average offering an annual or annualized PTO amount of 28 days or 28 to 29 days. And our amount average would be 25 days. I will say though, their plans actually don't have the safety net we've incorporated in the Family Medical Leave Bank. So in order to access time from an FML bank, an employee would need to apply for family medical leave through the Human Resources Office. And then once they were officially approved for family medical leave, because they've provided the medical information required by the Department of Labor, then they can access that safety net of FML bank. So that's something, although we have less days in these other counties, just by a few days, we have that safety net that their policies wouldn't have currently. So that's another reference point. And then I also have for reference just what the city of Waco is offering. And so they have a total of 15 days on an annual basis that employees can accrue of just sick leave. And then for vacation, they have 13 days per year that an employee can accrue.
And, so it really doesn't compare to private business or anything, which would be a little hard to get, but.
I didn't hear that last part of your
I
question.
say
So sorry.
we're primarily looking at other government entities, local government entities. I just wonder in the market, in the general market, how this compares.
So Bureau of Labor did have a private national average, and it's much less in the private sector compared to government. I did only compare to local government, our biggest local government comparison here locally, and then nationwide local and state governments.
Well, and also because we're converting it, you have to have a little bit higher number because you're converting, in some cases, significant amounts. So 240 is not out of line from what I've seen.
Couple of comments. Anna, when you compare us to national averages and state averages, you're comparing us to what I would call closed shop states that have some pretty strong unions that are able to negotiate some pretty nice benefits. And when we're compared, I like to see us compared to what I'd call right to work states that don't necessarily have closed shop. Seemed like to me that'd be more apple to apple. secondly, on the comp days, my understanding is we will pay out in our budget, we're gonna zero out comp days. And then those comp days will accumulate, and you're saying pay them out at the end of each fiscal year, I assume. Isn't that really kind of a backhanded way of encouraging people to accumulate comp days so they can get a nice check at the end of the year? And how do we incentivize employees to use their comp time, or supervisors to get their employees to use their comp time instead of the other way around, saving them up and banking them for a payment at the end of the year?
That result or outcome is a possibility, but also just I'd like to point out what this would mean is that department heads and officials and supervisors then would also be faced on an annual basis during budget time, having to account for that comp time accrued because it is going to have a more immediate effect to their budget. So I would think having that.
I don't know if they really care about that, to be honest with you, as long as they've got their employees there. We're the ones that are concerned about paying the comp time, not the department heads or the other officials. It's our responsibility to do that under the way it's.
Understand, this is actually better because right now, comp time is essentially a savings account. They leave the comp time in to max, and it's earned a lot of times when they're at a low pay, and as they go up through the organization, they end up getting paid out from whatever their end pay is. So what happens is it's the best savings account ever because it definitely outpaces the interest rate.
I understand that, Mike, and I do. And that's always been a concern of mine, the number of comp hours that we've accumulated in different areas. I consider that a liability to the county.
Right, but if you get rid of it at the end of each year, then you don't have quite the problem of creating that long-term contingent.
I just think it's a way though that the employees will be able to draw a 13th paycheck, or what you want to call it, because there's no incentive there's nothing there for them to use their comp time. The incentive is to not use your comp time and instead get paid for it.
Well, we have in our policy manual, if I recall right, a provision that encourages supervisors and department heads to have comp time used. People don't understand this, but we can tell them to use their comp time. We can't force them not to use their comp time. We can't, unless it's an emergency, we can't tell them no to a certain date if there's no emergency to keep them there. But we can tell them to use their comp time in between. Use their comp time up a superintendent could say, next week's going to be awful slow. I want you to use 5 days of comp time.
So, let me be sure I understand this, because once we go to PTO, the only comp time is any PTO days that weren't used at the end of the year. Is that right?
No, comp time is a completely different animal. It's not included in PTO. It's FLSA driven. So we have, whereas vacation and sick leave are not FLSA matters or benefits. Comp time is FLSA driven. So you have to keep a separate calculation, and you have to follow the rules as to it. because comp time is essentially overtime. It's an hour and a half time off instead of time and a half pay.
Right.
The only thing I could think of would be, when we come to department head evaluations,
Right.
to look at the accumulated comp time from the employees and hold their feet to the fire on why they're allowing the comp time to build up such.
And that works on department heads, but unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily work on elected officials.
No, it won't.
Well, to some extent, though, you still hold the budget.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful
Yeah,
about how you
But
threaten
if
that.
it's paid, it's paid.
That's true.
Yeah, that was just a concern of mine, was that we're creating incentive for people to not use their comp time. And I don't necessarily have an answer, I just have a concern.
Like, just to add to what Mike was saying, that is language that was in our current policy and that we have kept in the revised compensatory time policy, and that's balance control and outlining for supervisors and employees that the supervisor can place comp time on a timesheet, whether the employee may favor that or not. So that is something that is in the policy. And also for offices that do have the need to seasonally work a lot of hours, such as elections, just for example, I think it would be a benefit to the employee for them to see the immediacy of that comp time benefit, because that is something that is more common amongst other employers, where you work overtime, you see overtime and you're following check. So I think that would make us more competitive compared to other employers.
I had one question, and I guess it has to do with the education component, as far as letting our employees know the new system and how converting to the PTO system is going to affect them. And I say this, when you look at the sick and vacation report, there's a trend that most employees have more sick leave than they do vacation leave. And that's because you can take your vacation for anything that you want it for. You know, that's kind of like you're saying, is personal time off. And you can only take sick leave when it's a illness-related situation, you or a family member. So when we take a person's sick leave and we take their vacation leave and we turn it to PTO leave, I think there's going to have to be some type of discussion with employees that there's no longer that leave over to the side, that if your child gets sick, if you use up all your PTO leave, you have no more leave. And so if your child gets sick, if you have to go to the school, if you have a parent that needs to go to the doctor, there's no leave for that if you have used your PTO for your personal time off. So I think, and it's just really a concern that maybe just needs to kind of be shouldered by HR, and that is that employees need to understand that when they go to the PTO system, there is no more sick leave. There's no leave over to the side if somebody gets sick. There's no leave over to the side if you have to go to a funeral. They need to understand that this is the one-all, that no matter for whatever reason you need to be away from work, this is the pool of leave that you'll be using. Is that correct?
Anna, did we include bereavement leave in there, or in PTO, or is it still separate?
No.
Bereavement leave is still included.
Say it again.
Bereavement leave is in place. We left that policy
I thought
as it
bereavement
currently
was
exists.
with your vacation. I thought the standalone bereavement leave no longer exists.
No, we are not recommending a change to bereavement leave.
Okay,
So
it is-
bereavement leave, jury duty leave, and compensatory time those policies will remain compensatory time. All we're doing is requesting a change to have it be an annual payout.
Okay.
But jury duty leave, I think there's a civic duty leave as well for voting and bereavement leave.
And
Are remaining the
military,
same.
what about military people that are in the
Yes,
guard?
we have leave for the military. It's separate.
Yeah, we have.
We have 15 paid days for the military and then as many unpaid days as they need if they're active.
There was a revision to the bereavement leave, so what did we do? I know it changed from how it was when I first got here. So what was the revision we did to it?
Yes, we condensed it to only have a 5-day allotment per fiscal year for each employee for immediate family members. I believe it used to be more tiered, and you can have maybe a half a day if it was not an immediate family member, a day for a family member. There were like 3 tiers related to bereavement leave, and
But there
now it's
wasn't
just
any-
one.
Right, there wasn't any total limit. Was
Right.
there? And so that's the main thing, was to put a total limit in.
So there's a limit of 5 days total bereavement
Right.
for
Right.
immediate family.
Right, because you used to, in the past, you could get off for a friend or someone that wasn't your immediate family. You got like 4 hours, you got 3 days. Like you said, there was a tier. And so now we just give them 5 days and they can take it in any increment. But once they've done the 5 days, then it's exhausted. Okay.
That's correct, but I do agree with you, Commissioner Miller. Education for employees does need to be provided, including that emphasis on responsibility of controlling their own PTO balance and prioritizing it for use. And so we have crafted a informational flyer for employees related to the conversion. I do also plan on reaching out to department head elected official groups to see how this would affect any internal department policies that they have. And hopefully if commissioners courts approve, we have this 2-month timeframe to sit down with them, plan that out if they expect any major changes with internal department policies as well. So I do think that, I agree with you that I think that's needed.
Okay. Well, if there's, and we don't have everybody in court here today. And the other thing is, I'm interested in what department heads and elected officials might think. I haven't heard from any of them. Is there urgency to take action today?
No, sir.
Move to defer.
Second.
We have a motion and second to defer. Dustin, we have 3 action items in regards to that, right?
Yes, sir. So that would be M6A, B, and C.
All right, so that motion is to defer all 3 of those?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And second is 2.
Yes.
All right, any other discussion?
I want to say, I like PTOs. I've worked under them before. I'd just like a little bit more time to digest all of it.
Yes, sir, I understand.
And Anna, I think that you and I need to talk a little bit more about one part of it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure about.
All right, we have a motion and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And while we still have Mike, I did just want to mention the Salary Grievance Committee under M8 and kind of the plan for right now. As we talked about last time, we're having a tougher time each year getting the public members of the Salary Grievance Committee. And under the statute, kind of the default method is to have a committee comprised of up to 6 elected officials that are prescribed in the statute, and then a number of public members to equal 9 members total. And the deadline for elected officials to file their salary grievance is 5 o'clock today. So the plan is, we have not received one yet. The plan would be to, if we don't receive a request, we still need to recess this afternoon and reconvene tomorrow at 1:30, and we could then adjourn at that time or if we receive a request today, we can establish this committee tomorrow afternoon. So just wanted to mention that in case there were any questions.
All right.
Judge, can we take about a 5-minute break?
Yes, sir. All right, thanks for the information. It is 10:13. Let's come back in at 10:30. Recess to 10:30. All right, Dustin?
Yes, sir. If we can go to item H4, it's authorization of professional services contract with TLC Engineering for grant administration services. Ken?
Yes, the court will recall I brought to the court a recommendation for the grant writing and management services that requested that you allow Dustin, myself, and Francis to visit with TLC and basically work out a fair and reasonable value for their work. We did meet with them, and they did provide us information on that front. I would come to the court and recommend that we select TLC for the engineering as the best value-weighted proposal, and they provided information on their pricing that we believe to be fair and reasonable. I also submitted a letter from TLC, and then I also have a professional service contract for them, and then McLennan County rate sheet. Just as an explanation, when they work on a grant submittal, there's no charge for the grant submittal, whether we get it or not. But built in the grants, there is usually a reimbursement for in the grant proposal, range up to about 20%. That's where they make their money on submitting for grant proposals for us. Where the rate sheet comes into play that I've provided is if we ask for additional help after a grant is awarded, if we need outside help outside the grant application process. And the hourly rates provided in kind of a short listing of what they would charge for is general administration services, project management, billing and invoicing, project specification development, environmental assessments, mitigation specialist, proposal evaluations, and appeal specialist. And they gave us different hourly rates for those assessments. But again, we recommend that we go with TLC, and if the court will allow the judge to work through the contract.
Okay, and then we have a representative from TLC online, is that right?
Yes, we do. This is Georgina Ibarra. If you have any questions of her, she's with us today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us a little bit about your company.
TLC is an engineering firm. I am a prior long-time local government manager and grant writer, and we're quite diversified here. We do provide grant services, debris monitoring, safety programs, but my area is grant writing. And we have presented the county with a contract for grant writing. And we also have a list of all the potential funding agencies that we plan to approach. Our fees are contingent upon being awarded the contract. Wow. The funds are paid out of the funding agency determines what percentage the grant writer is entitled to. And that's basically what the contract states. The fee schedule is totally separate. In the event that the purchasing agent or your other or your grant department needs any other assistance, we'd be happy to step in and assist you.
Okay, so an example would be where we would need help after the grant?
If you have a contract that, or a grant that requires auditing, or there's been a request for what's called an RFI, additional information request, then if it's complex or your staff does not have the time to tend to it, we could step in and do it. If there is a project change order that, for example, is being is being denied, we could step in and appeal it for you, and possibly, in all probability, acquire a approval. Because grants require some very technical writing, very specific writing for these agencies.
Okay.
And that's where she'd come in and help. For me, given a grant, so many grants have different requirements that they could help us step through that if we're having to do a bid or a proposal.
Okay, and then the term of the arrangement with TLC and the county is it's based on time as well as opportunities to extend or cancel a contract?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is for the infrastructure? This is basically for that infrastructure bill? Ken, is that?
That's correct.
Okay. Yes, that was the major reason.
Yeah. Good.
But there's grant opportunities both in federal contracts as well as state and possibly local.
And she did provide us a list of different grant opportunities that we could take a look at.
Good.
And that's in the packet.
Good.
And do you represent other counties or government entities like municipalities and those, I would assume?
That is correct. There is Harris County, there is City of Houston, there's the City of Kennedy, Texas. We focus on both small and large entities.
What do you think our best opportunity to access grant funding right now is? What areas?
Right now with the new bill, it would be the Department of Transportation for roads and bridges. I know you had some issues with water and particularly pollution. EPA under the new bill has quite a bit of funding. It's called the Clean Water Act. That would be another area. I did notice in your local paper that there's some issues also with your zoo. We could approach Parks and Wildlife and see what can be done to contribute. That's a 50% match with Parks and Wildlife, though. But mostly it's your infrastructure, your streets, roads, bridges, and your water, which is currently an issue in McLennan County. That's what I would like to focus on. There's also some economic development grants that are available. If there's a possibility of creating jobs and partnering with private investors, we'll certainly explore those opportunities as well.
Okay. In our county, of course, Waco's the large city, and then there's some medium size in it. But we also have some very small communities that are municipalities by statute. And sometimes we help them access opportunity, or at least we want to keep that option open. Would that require a separate contract between TLC and that municipality, or can we work on their behalf?
You can work on their behalf. Okay. What I would recommend is that you enter an interlocal agreement with them.
Yes.
And to fully participate in the grant process. And I did get a list of all of your cities and taxing entities from the Texas Municipal League, and you do have quite a bit of small communities in your county.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have questions?
I will say I have not submitted this contract to Mike for review, but if you'll allow Mike to review the contract before we sign it.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess what we could do, since we don't have that review yet, would it be okay with the court to let Mike review it and come back and we can do it all at one time? Yeah, okay. All right, is there a motion to defer until we can get that done?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Pass. All right, thank you very much, and we look forward to working with you. We just want to get the agreement reviewed by our attorney, and we'll be ready to go.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Georgina.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, if we can move back to the top of the agenda under item E3, Human Resources. E3A is Information Technology, Discussion and or Action regarding replacement of director. And I believe Anna had just a quick update for this morning.
Okay.
Thank you, Dustin. Yes. Just to let everybody know where we are application-wise for the director position, we've received a total of 16 applications so far for the position. 9 of those did meet the basic minimum requirements of the job posting, and they have been delivered to our recommendation committee members for review. We've provided the members those applications along with an evaluation template. We already have some of them back. As soon as we have all of them back, we'll compile that into a report for the commissioners.
Okay. Any questions or comments? All right.
All right, so no actions needed today, so we can move on to item F, budget amendments, F1s regarding the FY22 budget. Francis?
Yeah, so starting with F1A, we actually need to defer F1A, that is for JP Precinct 1, Place 1.
All right, is there a motion to defer?
Second.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
And then moving forward, so starting with F1B, this is a certification of revenue and related budget amendment. We are certifying revenue. It is from proceeds from an interlocal agreement with the city of Colson in the amount of $62,500. So we are certifying that revenue, and then the related budget amendment that's been requested from Road and Bridge Precinct 3 is to increase road construction materials by that same amount.
Okay.
F1C, there's 4 amendments that are all related to our 2021 bond and the proceeds that are sitting in that fund. F1C1 is a modification to the ADA modifications line, an increase of $716. It is directly related to a CP&Y invoice that was approved on the last agenda. F1C2 is to increase the line item for the tower project line for Road and Bridge 1. This is requested to replace the AC units at the Road and Bridge 1 tower. There's also an item related to this budget amendment. It's on item P1 later in the agenda. F1C3, this is for the elections voting equipment. So in one of our budget workshops, there was some thought about putting the purchase of this voting equipment within the bond proceeds. So we've gone ahead and done a budget amendment so that we can allocate the funds to that line.
Is this the 21 bond?
It is, yes, sir.
And obviously there's room, you think there's room on there for that?
Yes, and then I'll show you exactly what is left there. F1C4, this is to increase the line item for Panther Branch Road. Again, it was brought up during budget workshops that we would like to use the bond proceeds for this project as well. And then on that F1C4, if you look at the bottom section where it says contingencies, you'll see the balance of contingencies at right under 9.5 million. And so that is what is still remaining in the 21 bond proceeds after these budget amendments today.
Okay, so we won't take those?
If you want, or I can keep going, or we can.
All right, why don't you just keep going?
Okay. F1D, this is in the Court Reporter Service Fund for 14th District Court, requesting to move within that special revenue fund into the line item for court reporters. or substitute court reporters. F1E, this is general fund, our countywide department. We're requesting to increase the other services and charges line. It is to accommodate the cost from JBI. They are a vendor that we use for reporting requirements for our Title IV-E grant and our SCAP grant. The fee that they charge is a portion of the grant we receive. So you'll see there an amount of $28,213. F1F, this is general fund pretrial services. We're going to have a lot that are similar to this in this listing, but this is to accommodate some purchases now for 2023 IT assessments. There's a listing that's attached of the items, but in general, it's a monitor or monitors, a monitor stands, a laptop, and a laptop bag. They're able to move within their department in the current year, and then this decreases that need for next year. F1G, this is general fund tax office. They're requesting to move within their departments into postage for the ad valorem department. F1H, this is general fund for purchasing. They are requesting to move within their department to go ahead and purchase 2 monitors and a webcam this year. These are also items that were originally in the 2023 IT assessments. F1I, this is general fund, information technology. They are requesting to move within their department into furniture and equipment in order to purchase some IT assessment, 2023 IT assessments now, and they are also requesting to purchase some office chairs. F1J, this is related to 4D Court. They have found money within their department to move into IT assessments, to purchase 2023 IT assessments in this current year. And it is specifically for 3 desktop UPSs. F1K, this is for specialty court. They also have found money within their current year budget to move into line items to go ahead and buy their 2023 IT assessments. They also, in addition to that, are needing a battery backup, but moving from another line within their department. F1L, this is for health services. They are requesting to move within their department into line items, also to purchase 2023 IT assessments. F1M1, this is general fund, our county jail department, and they are requesting to move from other departments under their umbrella into a line item, other services and charges, which will allow them to pay for advertising and promotion that will help fill their jailer positions. F1M2 is general fund county jail. This is a request we have to increase the electronic monitoring services line. This line item is difficult to budget and anticipate a lot of times, but you can see we need a $105,000 increase. We are requesting that it come from excess budget that is sitting in the full-time employees line item. Then that, of course, that is due to vacancies. In F1M3, this is also general fund county jail. They are needing to move within their department into the line item for outsourced prisoner transport. F1N, general fund JP Precinct 2, requesting to move within their department, allowing them to go ahead and purchase a printer now, which was in the 2023 IT assessments. F1O, this is general fund maintenance of buildings. They are requesting to move within their department to increase supplies due to increased cost for the year, furniture and equipment in order to purchase an HVAC refrigerant leak detector and a printer, and other services and charges for some software that they are needing. Some of these items are helping reduce the 2023 IT assessments. F1P, this is Justice Court Assistance and Technology Fund. The request is to move in that special revenue fund into a line item for JP Precinct 4, allowing them to purchase a laptop and accessories. Again, these were items that were in the 2023 IT assessments list. F1Q is General Fund Road and Bridge Precinct 4. They are requesting to move within their department into furniture and equipment to cover costs that they are incurring for the remainder of the year. And that should cover all of
Okay.
those. If you have any questions, let me know.
All right.
So when we look back at the IT assessments for the 23 budget, we'll see a reduction of somewhere around $24,000, give or take.
Yes, we'll work with IT and make sure that those have been taken out of that list, and then we'll bring you back a revision before we adopt at the end of the month.
Okay, under F, under budget, regarding the FY 22 budget, there's already a deferment on F1A, so we're here to ask the court's decision on items F1B through F1Q. All right, is there a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second.
And motion and second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. All right.
All right, moving on to F1R, authorization of Texas Association of Counties claim deductible invoices, and y'all will probably notice there are quite a few of these on. We did check with TAC to see if there was an issue, and there was on their end. So there's a system they use that pulls data from the claims files that then is then gathered to produce these deductible invoices. There was a upgrade that happened back in the May timeframe, and it led to just some deductible invoices not getting produced, but they audited it and then did a manual creation of these invoices. So it took them about 3 weeks to do that, and we received all these a week or so ago, so we've got them all on the agenda. But Judge, if it's okay like normal, I'll just run through all of them, and if there's any questions, just please stop me.
Okay.
So F1R1 and F1R2 are both related to the estate of Charles Ray Mason, and this was a law enforcement jail matter. F1R3 is a invoice associated with Michael Parker that was also a law enforcement matter. F1R4 and F1R5 have to do with a claim associated with Merica Campbell, and this was a juvenile matter. F1R6 is a claim associated with Douglas Hill, and that was a law enforcement matter. F1R7 and F1R8 are associated with Cornell Martin, and that's a law enforcement and an Axtell ISD matter. Then F1R9 is claims associated with Marcy Schreck, and this is a guardianship matter that a large part of our judges and a large number of county employees have been brought into this matter, and so it's already at the $10,000 deductible limit.
Okay. All right, any questions? What's the pleasure of the court?
Are you saying that this last one, we could come back with more claims if it's involving us and other counties?
Well, we have hit it's our judges and a lot of county employees as well. It could be considered a vexatious litigant. It's district clerk and county clerk are in it as well. But we have hit our deductible limit on it. So as long as it falls under this claim, should be the last bill we see.
Okay.
All right, what's the pleasure of the court?
Move to approve.
All right, is there a second? I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
F2s regarding the FY23 budget, and under F2As, further discussion. Francis, did you want to hold this until later?
Yes, that's probably best.
Okay.
All right, moving on to item G, bids, RFPs, RFQs. G1 is discussion and/or action on price increase requests from P Squared Emulsion Plants for bid 22-005, asphalt emulsions for delivery and pickup. Ken?
Yes, we recently received a letter from P2 Emulsions that they have experienced large increases on products materials they use to make their products. They submitted supporting documents, and they're asking for basically a 10% increase on the products that they sell. Looking back through the records, it seems like Precinct 2 is basically the precinct that uses P-squared most often. And visiting with the commissioner, she doesn't have a tanker truck, so it is basically a benefit to have a local company that she can go to get some of the emulsions that she's using on her road processes. So I would come to the court and basically recommend that we go ahead and accept this increase from P-squared emulsions.
Okay, any questions for Ken?
I don't have any questions, but I do want to thank Ken for bringing the issue to our attention. I would just add that P2 is the only local provider. I asked him to kind of give me a comparison of what the other vendors are charging as opposed to P2, and there is anywhere from a 60 to 70 cents per gallon difference. And again, the trade-off is, well, fuel prices are up, and like he said, I just don't have the tanker trucks to go. Right now, all I'm working with is an oil distributor, but that is something that we're going to look at going into the future. So right now, I'm going to have to do that 10% increase. Again, it's our only local provider, and yeah, I'm going to have to do a 10% increase until but we are going to look at a used or a new tank truck going into not 23, but maybe 24 fiscal year. So,
all right.
But I'll entertain any questions. If there are none, then I would just approve the recommendation to accept the price increase from P2 Square.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Pass.
G2 is authorization of recommendation for bid 22-011, printing for various departments. Ken?
Yes, we sent out this bid recently. Again, because of rising prices, we thought we would take a look at this one and reissue the bid. We received bids from Cherokee Debris and Remediation Service in the amount of $10,927.01. We received a bid from Furman Business Forms, Inc. It was an incomplete bid. They did not bid on the DA folders, but their grand total was $3,395.40. And then from Jones Printing Company, again, a bit of an incomplete bid, did not bid on DA folders and glue notices. That's the constables stick on the door. But their grand total was $2,721. We're going to go ahead and recommend the Clinton County Commissioners Court grant the award for printing forms for the various departments to Jones Printing Company. They did submit what we're determining the lowest and the best bid for this request. If approved, it would be in effect from August 2nd, 2022 through July 31, 2022. That doesn't make sense. 23.
How much are glue notices when you add, if they didn't bid on them and Furman did evidently, what's the difference when you add that back in?
It's not very much, Commissioner. We looked at that.
And then I guess my question would be, why didn't anyone bid on the DA folders? Is it something difficult, Ken?
Yes, it is.
Where do we get them then?
Well, there's various places. I can't remember the last place that we got them from.
But we'll be able to get them?
We're able to get them, yes.
Okay.
Okay, what's the recommendation of the court?
Motion to approve the recommendation of the purchasing director.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Under item H, contracts and interlocal agreements, H1 is authorization of customer service agreement with RW Lone Star Security LLC for shredding services for the sheriff's office. Ken?
We have had a standing contract with Shred-it to do the shredding services at the sheriff's office. We've had a couple of incidents with Shred-it, and so we've come to the court to end that agreement with Shred-it and replace it with an agreement with RW Lone Star, who we're actually using out at the Highway 6 jail now, and also we use them at archives. It's just they've shown to provide a better service.
So we've got some history with Lone Star, then we know that they're doing good work.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. What's the pleasure of the court?
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
H2, authorization of lease agreement with Pitney Bowes Mail Machine for McLennan County Jail. Ken?
The McLennan County Jail has a mail machine currently that is, the contract is fixing to expire. This would be a replacement for their machine. It's a lease agreement for 60 months, and the total amount billed monthly would be $169.99. If billed quarterly, $509.97. But it's just updating their mail machine equipment.
Okay, any questions?
Move to approve the agreement with Pitney Bowes.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you.
We can do H3 and H5 together. H3 is authorization of agreement for inmate detention services with Orange County, and H5 is authorization of interlocal cooperation agreement with Falls County. Both of these are for housing and care of inmates at our county facilities.
Okay, any questions? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
H6 is authorization of professional services agreement and related geotechnical pavement proposal with Langerman Foster Engineering Company for Trading Post Road Creek Crossing improvements. Zane?
Yes, sir. This item would allow geotechnical exploration of Trading Post Road in Precinct 2 for a proposed improvement of their low water crossing culverts. The amount is not to exceed $5,850. It's been reviewed and is recommended for approval.
All right, any questions? No questions. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
H7 is authorization of temporary service agreement with Waste Connections Lone Star for a roll-off waste container for Road and Bridge Precinct 2. Ken?
Yes, Precinct 2 is requested a roll-off container at their yard. I believe this has to do with our roadside pickup cleanup crew. We found that when they leave from picking up the road and trying to take it to the landfill, that they're having to wait in line for a long period of time. And so it's more efficient if we just have a container at the yard for them to dump. And so the rental monthly is $240, and of course there's a disposal fee of $36.52 per ton, and various other fees. I'm sorry, but again, I think it's a worthy endeavor to bring in this roll-off container.
And I want to thank Cinnamon for the work that she did on this. You're exactly right. I think they're doing a great job. I went out there after they came through Precinct 2, that vendor that we got, they're doing an excellent job. And this helps them to do more picking up of trash. They don't have to stop what they're doing, then head to the landfill. They just bring all of the debris
Yeah.
back to the yard.
Yeah, good.
And so,
Yeah, I appreciate the feedback, and as we go along, each precinct can provide feedback on that, be very helpful.
okay, so if there are no other questions, I would move to approve the agreement with Waste Connections Lone Star.
Second.
All right, have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
H8, authorization of contract with Lamar Companies and approval for use of county credit card for billboard ad space for the sheriff's office. Anna?
But it's kind of self-explanatory, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I'll make a motion we approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Pass.
Under item I, capital improvement and repair and maintenance projects, I-1s regarding the Mart Water Project street repair agreement with the city of Mart, authorization of third and final payment request. I believe those street work is still continuing, so the recommendation is to defer.
Okay, and, so Commissioner, if we can visit with, City of Martin, kind of get an idea about when that's gonna be complete.
I think that's a good idea. Zane did go out there last week on the 29th. They're doing their best, but they're not finished, and this would be the final payment, and so we do have to wait until they complete it.
Right.
So I'll connect
Yeah.
with them and see if we can't get them to come in and talk to us. So I would make a motion to defer.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any other question? No other question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you.
Under item I2 regarding capital improvement projects for the Cameron Park Zoo, I2A, this is the item y'all discussed deferring earlier this morning.
Okay, so we already deferred it, right?
I don't know if we actually voted or not.
I don't think we did, yeah.
I would move to defer.
All right.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
I2B is authorization of invoice number 21756 for the Penguin exhibit. Francis?
Thank you. Yes, so this is a reimbursement invoice from the city of Waco, totals $109,053.01. It is for work that has been done on the Penguin exhibit, and these are amounts that were included in the original project, the original bond proceeds. We have reviewed the invoice, and we are recommending it for payment.
So I'm assuming it's like site preparation and things like that because
Yes, I can tell you exactly.
or it could be design and, the
I believe so. I believe it
soft
was
cost.
some professional services that
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
It looks like it was fees through 100% schematic design and then also just covering reimbursable expenses.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Slow.
All right. Okay,
Move to approve. You didn't have.
we have a motion and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Pass.
I3 is regarding ADA renovations to MHMR Crisis Center, bid 21-003, agreement with HCS, commercial general contractor, authorization of change order number 6. TJ?
Yes, good morning. So the final change order related to the structural modifications and repairs that need to be done to finalize the ADA project over at MHMR. This will be that final little piece to complete the project. So we recommend this for approval.
You promise?
I hope so.
But it's gonna take 65 more days to do it, TJ?
65 more days, yes, sir. I mean, we are really seeing an issue whenever it comes to getting contractors on board and timelines, in an effective manner. It's a nightmare to say the least.
Yeah. All right, any questions? If not, what's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Pass.
We have nothing under item J this week. Under item K, grants and grant proposals. K1 is the Department of Treasury Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund, American Rescue Plan Act. K1A, 1 is discussion and or action on ARPA funding request and Central Texas Industrial Training Center. Recommendation is to keep this one deferred.
Okay, I'll make a motion to defer. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, opposed, pass. Thank you.
K1B regarding the professional services agreement with BKD LLP, Forvis LLP, authorization of grant administration service invoice through June. This invoice totals $2,030 for grant administration services through June 30th, and it has been reviewed and recommended for approval.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Under K2 regarding the bipartisan infrastructure law, discussion and or action on funding guidelines and opportunities. As we discussed earlier, hopefully we can get TLC on board soon and begin work on some of these infrastructure projects. So, but no further update unless anyone has any questions.
Okay.
The only thing I'd say is that there look to me to be some great opportunities here to gain, as the judge said, federal, state, and maybe even local funding through using TLC, and anything we can do like that that will offset budgeted amounts and not coming out of our taxpayers' pocket would be great.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Moving on to item K3 regarding the statewide automated victim notification service grant. Authorization of First Amendment to grant contract with the Office of Attorney General. APRIS, the vendor, has changed their name to APRIS Insights LLC, and so the Office of Attorney General is just requesting that to amend the contract with us to make that name change.
Okay, any questions? Not, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
K4 is regarding U.S. Department of Treasury Emergency Rental Assistance Programs, recording of Economic Opportunities Advancement Corporation reports for June for ERA 1 and ERA 2. And I think that's reports are in your packet. And as Judge said earlier, this one's pretty self-explanatory too.
Yeah.
You're right. I just had one question. It looked like there was I don't know if this is a Excel error, but on that cover sheet, the amounts don't come out.
Yes, I think when it transferred over, we'll get revised, but the total for ERA 1 for June was $215,932, and for ERA 2 was $217,085. But yeah, it just didn't. We'll get that fixed.
Okay.
Good catch, Commissioner. All right, what's the pleasure of the court?
They're doing an excellent job.
They are.
I think, 71 they did in June, 71 households they helped in June, and 93 in June, and I guess that's May. No, both of them, June activities.
Good.
Okay, 71 and 93, so they're doing a good job. I would just move to approve well, we just accept them for recording. Okay.
Right.
Make that motion if we need it.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to accept for recording purposes. Any other questions? No other questions. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
K5 is regarding the Bureau of Justice Assistant Small Rural Tribal Body Worn Camera Program, discussion and or action on grant award acceptance for Constable Precinct 1, and I believe this needs to be deferred.
Okay, is there a motion to defer?
So move.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
K6 and K7 are both regarding the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services Title 4E grant. Francis, did you want to handle both of these at the same time, or do they need to be separate?
Sure. So they're both the 2023 budgets for both grants. So the grants are based on our estimated cost. K6 is for Title 4E expenses related to legal services. And then item K7 is Title 4E, the Title 4E grant related to child welfare services. So this just sets up an estimated budget for the upcoming year.
Okay. Any questions? If not, is there a motion to approve K6 and K7.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Pass.
Under item L, Department Office Specific Request, L1 is Road and Bridge Precinct 4, authorization of reimbursement for vehicle damage. Commissioner Perry, did you want to cover this one?
Yeah, this is just an issue that came up that we had an unfortunate incident and did some damage to a citizen's vehicle. And we've got the money in our budget to take care of it and pay for it. So I'm asking for the court's approval, so I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, the motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Pass.
L2 is maintenance of equipment, authorization of reimbursement for vehicle damage, and this is similar. The damage total is $1,462.44, and this is less than our tax deductible on auto.
Okay, I'll make a motion we cover. Is there a second? Second. Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
Under M2, selection designation of public members of the Salary Grievance Committee regarding the FY23 budget. We don't need any action on this at this time, and that's another item that we can come back to tomorrow if needed.
Okay.
All right, dropping down, earlier we deferred M3A under the Emergency Services District. There's also M3B, kind of the next steps that the petition was granted, so that will need to be deferred as well.
All right, is there a motion to defer?
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Pass.
M4 is regarding the Local Provider Participation Fund, authorization of intergovernmental transfers of funds derived from the County Healthcare Provider Participation Fund to provide the non-federal share to the hospitals. This is under the CHIRP program. Heather?
Yes, sir. This is for CHIRP program year 1. The IGT request is in the amount of $1,298,634.41 with a settlement date of Tuesday, August 9th.
And if possible, the last time we had an inclusion, one of the other counties had got their request in late. So Heather, is it okay just to approve up to the balance in the LPPF on the day of the IGT?
Yes, sir. I'm so sorry. I forgot to include that. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the court?
So moved to approve.
All right,
Second.
motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Pass.
M5 is authorization of refund requests for overpayment of real estate taxes under the Texas Property Code. And these three are in your packet and similar to ones that we processed earlier this year.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Pass.
Dropping down to M7, Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Pool, authorization of liability coverage renewal and related invoice. This is for our public officials liability, law enforcement liability, general liability, auto liability, and auto physical damage. You'll see these are the coverage renewal documents for 2022 and the related invoice. It totals $569,161. As a reference, last year's total was $538,817, so about a 6% increase.
Any questions on that? All right, if not, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Pass.
M8 is the other salary grievance item. We'll hold till tomorrow. We have nothing this week under item N, Americans with Disabilities Compliance Project, under item O, McLennan County Venue Project, and dropping down to item P, McLennan County Radio Tower Project. P1 is authorization of AC unit replacement estimate from 3C Mechanical for Road and Bridge Precinct 1 and 2 tower sites.
Okay.
Yes, y'all approved the money earlier, but I thought I'd just explain that the AC at the Tower 1 site has been going up and down, and it is become a precarious situation. Therefore, we requested the replacement of that. But also, too, something that we learned in building the tower at Precinct 4, most tower sites now are putting in a backup AC system. And so this amount of money also includes the installation of a backup AC system, as well as a vent in the roof that will help exhaust excessive heat. And I'll just share the amount of money that we're spending on AC units for one of these shelters is way less than if we lose the equipment inside one of those shelters. So I just wanted to.
And this is 1 and 2, we're gonna do it in both precincts?
Well, eventually. Right now, I'm just concentrating on precinct 1.
Okay, so we're just approving precinct 1 right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Precinct 2, we have a brand new, that's a brand new shelter, brand new AC.
Right.
I'm not as overly concerned about that right now, so let's do precinct 1, and then I'll come back. I'm glad you brought that up, because we will come back and see about putting in a backup AC unit at precinct 2 as well.
And I had a question, because you have the estimate is for the replacements of the units at both sites?
No.
This 22,000 is not
I'm
for-
sorry, the 22,000 is just for precinct 1.
Just precinct 1, okay.
Ken, I noticed in the quote that they were saying that warranty was like 1 year. Is there any way to get an extended warranty on those AC units? I mean, how much, is there a cost involved in an extended warranty past 1 year?
I'm sorry, I can ask that. I did not ask.
Okay, well, I mean, we're going to approve, but can we check with them and see if they?
I will do so, and I'll come back to the court if that's feasible.
Move to approve.
All right. Have a motion, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass. All right, Dustin?
All right, Judge, that should be all the action items with the exception of the salary grievance committee items, but I know we need to do an executive session. Do you want to break first or move on up into?
Yeah, let's take a 5-minute recess and then we'll come back and go into executive session. And only just a heads up on the executive session, Dustin, Mike Dixon, Francis, Haley need to, can stay in, and Mercedes, for that. So let's go into recess for 5 minutes. like to go into executive session under 551.071 of the government code for legal advice from attorneys regarding pending or settlement offers. Leave in the executive session will be, besides the Commissioner's Court, will be Auditor's Office, Francis and Haley, and as well as Dustin Chapman and Mercedes.
excluded, had to show the feasibility of the district without those.
All right,
So,
let's call
okay.
for it back into session. Is there anything else to come before the court? If not, we will recess until tomorrow at 1:30.
And I understand the City of Waco's meeting tonight.
Mhm.